going to show you how to go from a blank page to this. Let me walk you through the steps. I love to do mixed media, so today that's what I'm going to show you, what I've been working on that might help you. This past couple of weeks I've been working on these little birdie prints. These little mini prints are 2.5 by 3.5, and I thought these are perfect for a scrapbooking layout. I used my Etsy printer and printed them out. And I also included some other designs that I've been working on nightly. I like to doodle. So these are some of the little doodle images that I also decided to use on my scrapbook layout. The first thing you want to do is think about your composition. So I just kind of outlined where placement on my notebook. Don't make the same mistake as I did, and make sure you use watercolor paper, which I didn't, so I had to add it with the glue. Then I made sure I sprayed my watercolor palettes so that I could easily apply a wash of color across the background. So just random sporadic splash of color, laying out different color and spots. No, doesn't have perfect, just lay it out how you like and cover most of the page. If a little bit of white shows through, it's okay. You're just laying out the background, and we're going to cover or layer that later. After it dries, then you can start layering on your media. But first you want to cut out your paper. So I'm not cutting this very carefully. I'm just kind of cutting around. And then I just used Elmer's glue to start gluing that onto the dried watercolor background. I like Elmer's glue because it's quick, easy, and the cheap glue, like this does not make anything stick. But lay it out according to how I really designed it whenever you were placing things down. So I took some of the background colors, the flowers and hearts, and big flowers were kind of more of a point. Then I also cut out my little birdies, and these are going to go on top of your laid out background textures. Again, I'm just using glue to lay these down, and I'm not really concerned about if it is overlaid paper, because I'm going to go back and show you how you can make this look like a more cohesive piece instead of just cut pieces of paper that are cut and pasted onto a book. So here I have added some more elements, just kind of laid things that you like them to go visually. One of the things that I like to do is incorporate different media, and so outlining your cut pieces of kind of makes into the design. So I'll go in and I'll add outlines of pin or the different shapes, and then I also started drawing in some of those same types of lines on the actual watercolor background, so that it appears to have layers of lines. So it looks more piece instead of a bunch of cut pieces of paper, to kind of flatten it a little bit to make it more seamless. I'll speed this up so you can see a little bit of that end result. So go in and add some lines that continue from any cut pieces, any swirls or leaves that didn't have enough of the paper. You can extend that with the marker and then continue outlining. Don't worry about it being super neat. In fact, messy, in my opinion, is better because it gives it kind of a whimsical aesthetic. To make the papers that you glued on more cohesive, just keep layering those lines and extending the lines from the designs that you had started on the paper. I also like to add little quotes to my spreads. So I wrote my quotes on a little piece of watercolor paper, and then I use these stamping inks to kind of embellish the outside of them so that they match some of the watercolors. Once I had those words, or before I had those words laid out, I also like to go in with a different layer of color. My favorite to use is these gold pens. You can find at Michael's, but I always like to use little pops of gold. So I just did the same technique that I used with the marker and just kind of added outlines page to kind of layer it down to kind of flatten it doesn't just look like you pasted pieces of paper onto another piece of paper. So it kind of gives a cohesive feeling. The layering of colors, paper swatches, etc. makes it feel more cohesive and a little bit more polished. Now I can go in and add my text quote. So usually I try to add something meaningful that applies to what the composition feels to me that it's about, or anything that might inspire me, or a reflection of some type. And so for my quote, I chose all growth flourishes between shadows and color. Overall, this is a pretty simple design. You don't really have to have any drawing skills, just cutting, layering papers, using markers, watercolor, etc. And I do have these prints available for a download. If you're interested, just send me a DM and I'll send you the free birdies and the background so you can create your own. So let me know if you want to try this and maybe use a different quote or different technique. I'd love to see what you create.